kayfabe lives and legends never die. You're watching the RWL YouTube channel.
RWL fans, welcome back to the Richmond County Sportsplex in New York City for the third and final hour of RWL Homecoming. Don Hickson here with the rest of the crew in the booth, both from Snarl and Rage. And the third and final hour, nearly every single match, a championship match. With perhaps one exception, Tex.
That's right. Well, sir, if you've been following along recently, you know what happened with Bruiser Brody and AJ Styles, and how he ruined Brody's potential win against Haku. And he's been gunning for AJ Styles ever since, so we are opening up the third and final hour with a no-rules matchup exclusively by knockout. The referee has to declare one wrestler unable to continue, but beyond that, anything goes.
And Brody was a hard ass on the negotiations, had to have everything exactly the way he wanted it, or he started, raising hell. But you get what you want, and especially with a big card like this. And, well, let's face it, AJ Styles did kind of screw things up.
And you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here? Alright, well, it's another win for AJ Styles. Well, this ain't good. Guess who's come to town? Bruiser Brody. After 2 weeks after the attack from AJ Styles during his main event match against Haku, and he is making his way down to the ring. And AJ Styles does not look the least bit heavy. He is swinging that rope. This is definitely not good for Mr. AJ Styles. Brody takes him down with a single shot. Oh, look at this. AJ Styles, already worn out from his match with Cactus Jack, and Bruiser Brody coming in to strike at exactly the right moment. He's been waiting for this. Off the top, knee right into the head. He spins him around with a hard right, has him up, reverse fireman's carry. Drops a knee right into the head of AJ Styles. And this, running spear. Down goes AJ again. And I'm sure he is regretting that decision a couple of weeks ago at this point. Oh man, he has absolutely laid the hell on out, and Bruiser Brody's just waiting for him to come to.
Brody warned him this was gonna happen.
Oh man, this is bad. Well, live and learn, I guess. Last thing to do. Running spear takes him down again. The referee ringing the bell. That's about all he can do, but that's not going to stop Bruiser Brody, who goes under the ring one more time. Comes up with a baseball bat. This is not good for AJ. Oh, man. Just waylaid it. Referee, it looked like he's finally done. Bruiser Brody making a statement here. Yeah, he sure as hell did. Oh, man. All right, well, let's get this third and final hour rolling with that very match we're talking about. Extreme Rules, anything goes, but only by knockout.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next match is a no-rules match, a 20-minute time limit, with a knockout stipulation, with the referee stopping the match if he deems a wrestler is unable to continue.
No countouts, no disqualifications, anything goes, anything under the ring is fair game. And that is exactly the way Bruiser Brody likes it.
Coming down to the ring from Gainesville, Georgia, weighing 220 pounds, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
Well, having retired from World Wrestling Entertainment, AJ Styles decided to beat it over here to RWL and make an impact. Unfortunately, he decided to make an impact at the expense of Bruiser Brody, ruining his potential win over Haku a few weeks back. And Bruiser Brody has been pretty irate about it ever since.
He most certainly has, and let me tell you, Bruiser Brody made out all the specific stipulations of this match. Anything goes. Has to be one fine knockout exclusively. The referee must declare one wrestler unable to continue the match.
His opponent, from Santa Fe, New Mexico, weighing 320 pounds, Bruiser Brody.
Yes, we have had a real good run on no rules matches tonight, but none of them have been exactly unjustified. Jessica Hyde, Danielle Heath Cope, those matches just had to happen. But this one, AJ Styles, much as I like him, really put his foot in the doo-doo.
And this match was pretty much doomed to happen the minute AJ Styles made his first appearance during Brody's match against Haku.
Plus, and here's something to think about. Brody has already worn AJ out when he ambushed him after Styles went over Cactus Jack. AJ isn't inexperienced in the no-rules environment, cutting his teeth in TNA and their X division.
We remind you again, viewer discretion is advised. You might want to put the kiddies to bed for this one. Oh man, Brody's upset. Charles Lucero sounds the bell. Here we go. AJ Styles opens up with a set of kicks. Brody counters with an elbow. Bruiser Brody, double choke lift on AJ Styles. AJ counters it into an arm drag. Running spear. Doesn't quite connect. Brody doesn't connect with the boot. Well, now here we go. Neckbreaker from AJ Styles. Going to be an interesting conflict of styles. Not to put a pun on it, but AJ, a phenomenal one. He is amazing in the ring. Oh, Bruiser Brody pulling him on out there, says no. I'm just going to go get this hockey stick for myself. AJ Styles. Oh, hard shot with the hockey stick. Oh, Brody rolls out of the way, tags him with a right. AJ Styles. Rounded up by Brody all the way in the middle of the air. Oh, right knee into the gut. And it's already gotten violent. Not even a minute in. AJ Styles doesn't connect. Disarms Brody. There's a flying elbow. He had the ring steps ready to do some work. AJ with a couple of shots and a kick and a DDT out there on the floor. AJ Styles quickly countered by Bruiser Brody. Brody locks him up. Spike knee into the head. Might have cracked his head on them ring steps too. Brody rolls him back inside. Goes under the ring for a little something extra. AJ Styles, see what I tell you, he does some crazy stuff. That's why he's been champions all over the place since his TNA days. Man. Bruiser Brody gets a hold of him before he can use that hockey stick. Tries, a quick counter from AJ. Brody with a kick to the gut of AJ Styles. Staggered back. Misses with the shoulder tackle. A chop, a right, another chop, and a kick to the gut. Brody's got them ring steps again. And AJ Styles quickly counters. There's a kick. Brody counters. A lot of countering going on in this match, and it's already gotten rough. Wow. Just a quick stipulation here, folks, just to remind you. Technically, you can win this match by pin or submission. Ain't that right, Myron? Yep, that's how Brody wanted it, and I'm not going to tell him no. Brody stops him from using the stop sign kick to the midsection. Brody with the kick to the gut of AJ Styles. Oh, here we go. He won that argument. DDT out there on the floor again. AJ Styles misses with the knee. Brody quickly up clothesline. Takes down AJ Styles. Oh, wow. This is going to be a gem already. About 3 minutes in. And AJ Styles has taken a little bit of a beating here. Bruiser Brody. Well, the old Louisville Slugger. Oh, here we go. Oh, I guess he was just testing it. AJ Styles crawls out onto the apron. Brody's got the hockey stick again. Wow. Brody makes his way back in. AJ Styles thinking about it a minute. Says it's okay to come back in. Bruiser Brody blocked up over here by AJ. There's a knee and a... Bruiser Brody pinned. Here's a cover. One. Not even one. Bruiser Brody back up on his feet. AJ Styles whips him to the rope. Drop kick takes Brody down to the canvas. Kick to the midsection. Taken down again. DDT from AJ Styles. Well, how the tides have turned. AJ a lot more in control of things right now. Brody gets a hold of him about to change that, brings him back into the ring the hard way, slides back on out. Oh, he really do love that hockey stick. Oh, damn. Whoa, AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. Doing what he does best. Rolls Brody back inside the ring. They lock it up again. Bruiser Brody flips him into the far right corner. Swings and misses. AJ counters with an elbow. Brody in the corner now, and there's a clothesline. And rolled back out the center ring goes Bruiser Brody. Oh, what? Brody changed his mind on that one. Running boot to the face takes AJ Styles down. Oh, man. Well, sir, Bruiser Brody promised he was going to do this, and, well, he's making good on his work. Oh, here we go again with them ring steps. AJ Styles looking like he's in a whole lot of hurt and a whole lot of trouble.
AJ Styles not getting back to a standing position of his own volition, rolling elbow to the back. Wow.
Yes, sir. Bruiser Brody absolutely gone berserkly. Wholesaleless ballisticus. AJ Styles trying to put out the fire. Whip to the ropes. There's a drop kick. Takes Brody down to the canvas. Here's another pin long. Not even with one again. You're going to have to hit Bruiser Brody with a whole lot of stuff. Shot to the gut from Brody. Another one, a hard one. AJ Styles. Whip to the ropes. They come out center ring. Kick to the gut from Brody. Woohoo, double. And out rolls AJ Styles to the floor. Bruiser Brody going to go right on after him. Don't have to worry about no countouts here. There's a forearm from AJ Styles. There's a right. Takes him quickly. Look at how quick he took him down. Damn. Got him in a crossface. Bruiser Brody in trouble here. You can win this by submission. Oh, well, he got out of that one. Kick to the gut. AJ Styles rolled back inside the ring. Bruiser Brody going under the ring. Comes up with a chair, but AJ Styles through the ropes again. Takes him down one more time. A phenomenal one. Still in action despite taking a whole lot of punishment already. Nails him with the hockey stick once, but that's going to be about it. Down goes AJ Styles again, and again Brody going to hit him with them ring steps, but again AJ Styles puts a stop to that. And right back to that hockey stick. There's a shot, and down goes Brody. Both men busted open at this point. Hard shot to the midsection with the hockey stick. AJ Styles going to wear that thing out, I guarantee it. Another shot. Oh, man, Bruiser Brody's going to be all bruised tomorrow. Oh, well, that's the end of the hockey stick. AJ Styles wore that one out. Now he's got a steel chair. Says, no, I'm going to try something different. Bruiser Brody catches a hard kick to the back. AJ Styles taken down with a leg sweep by Bruiser Brody. Rolls himself back inside the ring. And he's got the bat again. AJ goes back outside. A little game of musical ropes between Brody and AJ. AJ disarms him with the bat but catches a hard right from Bruiser Brody. Brody with a nice hip toss. Running drop kick. A low one. Back under the ring. Here comes that sledgehammer. And this one does a hell of a lot of damage. Ooh! Right away. Oh, man. AJ Styles. Ooh! Yeah, AJ Styles taking a pasting over here. Flip to the far left corner. Bruiser Brody moves in on him. He counters. Gets himself out of that corner. Kick to the midsection. Tries for the DDT, but no good. Machine gun shots to the gut. Bruiser Brody with a right staggers AJ Styles. Double choke lift. And dropped right down into the corner. AJ Styles struggling to get stood up. Another shot with that sledgehammer. Brody puts it down. Decides maybe he'll go for a pin. 1, 2. AJ Styles kicking out of that one. 1 or 2. Oh, right in the back of the head. Oh, AJ Styles tags Brody with the right. Beautifully done. Look at that. That was, man. AJ Styles is something else. Cover. 1, 2. Wow. Well, hasn't hit him with enough stuff yet. Bruiser Brody locks it up with AJ. Whips him into the corner. AJ Styles rounded up by Brody for a scoop slam. Oh, man. Rebound off the ropes. Running splash. Cover. 1, 2. Again, AJ Styles kicking out of that one. He's going to have to win this one by knockout. Well, steel chair time. This one hasn't been even used yet, so got to christen it at some point. Brody with a little construction project over there in the corner. Nope, says I'm going to change my mind. Whoa! Nailed AJ with the head. Says, okay, I'm done. I'm going to put the chair back now. He is nuts. Changed his mind again. AJ counters. Brody counters him. Hard right. Clothesline. Down goes AJ. Swing and a miss from AJ. Rebound off the ropes into a back body drop from Bruiser Brody. Brody calling him, bring it. Has him up. Spine buster. Oh, man. Brody gonna get that sledgehammer again. Oh, man.
AJ Styles, motionless. The referee monitoring him, but AJ Styles not moving at all. I've said this a couple of times already tonight, but this is not good. AJ Styles. Oh, man. Oh. That's it. The referee calls this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 10 minutes and 15 seconds, referee Walt Rothburn has stopped the match, declaring AJ Styles unable to continue. Your winner as the result of a knockout, Bruiser Brody.
Fans, will be back right after the break.
We're back, and fans, I'm afraid that last match ends on a pretty unfortunate note for AJ Styles, with Bruiser Brody beating him literally unconscious for a full half a minute, forcing the ref to stop the match. Dr. Barnett has already had AJ transported by ambulance immediately to the nearest emergency medical center, still unconscious at last report, and Bruiser Brody was rushed out of the building by event staff, fearing possible bad fan reactions.
Dr. Barnett didn't even want to see her in her office. She said ambulance. Now he's been unconscious too long, and says that's a dangerous and potentially life-threatening situation. I think maybe Bruiser Brody went just a little bit too far tonight. Oh, I have to share that opinion, Myron. I mean, yes, extreme wrestling is one thing, but to assault someone to the point of severe unconsciousness, that is an entirely different matter. In any case, we're going to keep you up to date, if possible, regarding the condition of AJ Styles.
And I don't think I've ever seen Don anything like that ever happen in all of RWL. I mean, it was bad. AJ Styles rushed out of here on a stretcher. Bruiser Brody dragged out of here practically by event staff and the local police. Afraid the people were going to riot. Anyway, look, here's Christy Oakleby.
Fans, catching a quick minute with Women's World Champion Dynamite, Jeannie Parker. Well, here we go again. But you issued the open challenge to anyone for a title match. And they say the line's getting long. And tonight, it's another defense. This time against former multi-time women's champ, Crystal Gabor. It's been a long time since Crystal was champ last, Jeannie. But it's a special night for you, with the Richmond and Richmond, Virginia is your hometown, both being where you've defended the belt stacks of times. So, what's your spin on things?
Christy, you and everybody else knows I think the world of Crystal, and the RCS holds a lot of her history too. So it's only fitting we should go at it for the belt here. You know I prefer a good competitive match with no baggage or bullshit. And I think Crystal and we're gonna rock the Richmond tonight. I wish her all the luck in the world, and I was happy to see she's gonna have American Supreme Matt Clark with her.
Yeah, I heard. How cool is that? A lot of classic history tonight at the RCS. Jeannie, good luck tonight, and thanks for your time.
Thank you, Christy, for the interview. And so we continue now with the RWL Women's World Championship hanging in the balance as Dynamite Jeannie Parker once again defends her title, this time against multi-time former champion Crystal Gabor, accompanied by a special guest appearance from American Supreme Matt Clark.
This next match will be one fall with a 15-minute time limit, and it is for the RWL Women's World Championship.
Well, this evening at the RCS, two ladies who have made a great deal of history here competing for the RWL Women's World Championship. And here, with a special appearance, Crystal Gabor, backed up by multi-time world champion, multi-time everything, American Supreme Matt Clark, the face of the company, before Warlord Santos made the St. Crystal Gabor, in her own right, multiple-time women's champion, multiple-time women's tag team champion. She has the women's international champion. She has just done it all, and she would love to get the women's world title back from Dynamite Jeannie Parker. And since it is an open challenge, Crystal Gabor and Dynamite Jeannie Parker agreed to compete in this matchup tonight at the RCS, where they have done so much business.
Don, your predecessor, Mike Lane, and I must have sat at the broadcast table in this place literally hundreds of times. And it's always a special vibe here at the Ridge. Jeannie and Crystal have a lot of history in this arena. Crystal going all the way back to 2004, the multi-time women's champion, the first to take down previous long-time champion Helena Troy, smashing Troy's 3-year run. And Jeannie Dynamite has defended that belt at the RCS dozens of times in her 7.5-year reign at the top of the women's division.
The sexy soul sister of the Squared Circle and her Memphis Millionaire, making their way down to the Ridge, Eddie Guns, with a long-time history with the Ringside Army here at the Ridge too. A whole lot of history in this evening's Supercard. Jeannie Dynamite, dual champion, the women's world champ, and the ladies tag trio champion, along with Les Femmes Fatales. This is going to be a match for the ages.
The challenger, along with American Supreme Matt Clark, from Palatka, Florida, here's Crystal, the Pistol, Gabor. Her opponent, along with Mr. Ringside Eddie Guns, from Richmond, Virginia, she's an RWL double champion and the RWL Women's World Champion, the Queen Dynamite, Jeannie Parker.
Jeannie's no fool, and she knows what Crystal is capable of, so expect her to be well prepared. And she's tussled with Crystal before.
She knows no matter how confident she may feel, or how well prepared she shows up, there's always the risk her opponent will be that much better one night.
Every champion has to deal with this. Yeah, but doing it for 7 years, man. All right, well, Crystal Gabor and Jeannie nice to see American Supreme Matt Clark at ringside. Gosh, he's missed around here. Willie Johnson rings the bell. Here we go. Crystal Gabor spun around. Jeannie Parker goes behind into a vice grip, already blocking the flow of blood to Crystal Gabor's brain. And down she goes right in front of American Supreme. We've got a whole lot of history here in RWL too, especially here at the RCS. Jeannie Parker, inverted spine buster, which means face first into the canvas for Crystal Gabor. Elbow drop across the chest of Crystal the Pistol. Dynamite Jeannie Parker rebounds off the ropes, cross body splash. She rebounds off again, but this time she catches a pair of knees from Crystal Gabor. Quickly back up on her feet, running drop kick, takes down Dynamite Jeannie Parker. The women's world champion puts a block on it and delivers a block to the block head. Armbar stretch from the Queen. Dynamite Jeannie Parker rounds up Gabor again. Rounds her up for a bear hug, but Crystal Gabor counters with shots right to the head. Backs Jeannie Parker up, gets a hold on her. Dynamite Jeannie Parker being escorted to the far right turnbuckle by Crystal Gabor. Head first into the turnbuckle goes Jeannie Parker. There's a kick to the leg. Crystal turns her around. Drapes the leg over the rope, delivers a calf kick. Oh, man. There's a kick to the chest from Crystal Gabor, quickly turning this match around. Oh, man, guillotine leg drop over the rope. American Supreme Matt Clark. Apparently having a conflict of interest with a steel chair. Crystal Gabor showing out as Jeannie Parker makes her way to a standing position over the top rope, and boom, Hurricane Rana to Jeannie Dynamite as Mr. Ringside Eddie Guns, Mr. Memphis Million looks on. Jeannie Parker catches a stomp, and Crystal Gabor About to lay in the booty-popping moonsault. Oh! Crash and burn on the floor. Jeannie Parker getting out of the way pretty quick. Into the ring steps goes Crystal Gabor. Women's World Championship up for grabskis here. Crystal Gabor shoved halfway across right in front of American Supreme Matt Clark. Jeannie Parker definitely steps over, gets a hold on Crystal Gabor. Referee Willie Johnson counting. Look at this. Oh, quick counter. Crystal Gabor shifting her weight and turning it around on Jeannie Dynamite. Crystal makes her way in over the top rope. Dynamite Jeannie Parker in hot pursuit here. Crystal Gabor showing off for the fans at the Ritz. Dynamite Jeannie Parker gets a hold of her snap suplex. American Supreme Matt Clark up on the apron, and what in the hell is he doing? Are you serious? Meanwhile, Jeannie Parker with some triplets on Crystal Gabor. Matt Clark trying to put the grab on Jeannie Parker. What the hell's going on here? Jeannie Parker with a pile driver on Crystal Gabor. Well, I guess all bets are off now. I don't know what's going on with Matt Clark. That's pretty peculiar behavior. Here we go. Here's a cover. 1, 2. Nope. Crystal Gabor powering out of the pin.
I don't understand what Matt Clark is doing. He's never done that before.
Clothesline over the top rope and out onto the apron goes Crystal Gabor. She counters with a shoulder. Jeannie Parker backs it up. Crystal off the ropes. And there it is by the ankles. There's the Whirligig Rana. Mr. Ringside Eddie Guns rallying Jeannie Parker. Here's the ref. 1. Oh, he doesn't even get one. Oh, man, he's gone. Busy fixing the turnbuckle. Crystal Gabor rebounds off the ropes. Gets a hold on Jeannie Parker again. There's another Whirligig Rana. Finally, we got the referee back. Thank goodness. Dynamite Jeannie Parker catches a neckbreaker from Crystal Gabor. The former Women's World Champion hungry to get that title back. Crystal rebounds off the ropes. Low Hurricane Rana with a smash of the head to Jeannie Parker. Here's a cover. 1, 2. Again low. Jeannie Dynamite powering out of the pin. Mr. Ringside keeping an eye on Crystal Gabor. Probably keeping an eye on Matt Clark too. There's a kick to the calf from Jeannie Dynamite. Clothesline takes Crystal Gabor down. Swing and a miss from Crystal. Back body drop from Jeannie Parker. And here comes Crystal one more time. There's a spine buster. Jeannie Dynamite rounds up Crystal Gabor. And there's a power bomb. Boom goes the Dynamite. Here it comes. Split-legged leg drop. Here's the ref. 1, 2, 3. John, what the hell happened here?
The time of the fall, 9 minutes and 35 seconds. Your winner and still Women's World Champion, Dynamite Jeannie Parker.
Well, Dynamite Jeannie Parker does it again. Another successful title defense of the Women's World Championship. However, some rather questionable conduct on the part of American Supreme Matt Clark at ringside. Uncharacteristic, to be sure. We've never seen this out of American Supreme before. And now, post-career, in retirement, prepared to produce television, he's now conducted himself in a completely unprofessional manner. Personally, I would like to speak to him about that on a personal level.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that is just well. Jeannie Dynamite picks up another successful title defense. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more Homecoming in just a minute.
Okay, we're back, and before this next king-size title match, a quick production note. Due to minor production issues, Snow will be preempted this week instead of Rage, which will be seen Monday night, February 2nd start time, and Snow returns the following Saturday, March 7th.
Coming up, it just wouldn't be Homecoming at the Richmond without the tag team that made their bones here and facing brand new opponents for the undisputed World Tag Titles.
It's the RWL debut of the Viking Raiders and their second Valhalla at ringside.
Oh, well, now this is a surprise. Huh?
There are those who will question the new arrivals the Viking Raiders in RWL, appearing here at the RCS, but remember, the RCS is a place where many things started for many single wrestlers and tag teams, and, well, so it shall be for the Viking Raiders, with their most unusual Nordic warrior appearance, along with their whatever she is, Valhalla, wearing that rather unusual headpiece. I'm sure Elva Gigante is looking on with eyes of envy. It do look like something Elva Gigante would wear, don't it, Don? All right, well, let's quit fooling around here. All right, the Viking Raiders, in their own right, they've been around, and they've been very successful as a tag team, and, well, now they're here in RWL, making their first ever appearance, and get this, with a chance to become the undisputed World Tag Team Champions. There's one thing standing between them is the originals, the current undisputed World Tag Team Champions, and GB, you know and I know and Sylvia knows, that's going to be a mighty tall order even for these big boys. Oh man, what a matchup we got going here at Homecoming.
Ladies and gentlemen of New York City, and fans of our WL Wrestling, both here and watching via our worldwide audience on YouTube. Welcome to the Richmond County Sportsplex, right here in the heart of the city that has no heart. It is both the birthplace of our WL Wrestling and the birthplace of the greatest tag team in the history of the RWL. For it is here in these hallowed halls, two single wrestlers met in 2012, and together with a fledgling manager, forged a tag team dynasty to rival the all-time greats of our beloved sport. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the Ringside Wrestling League presents to all of you manager as Sylvia Strong, along with the RWL Undisputed World Tag Team Champions, the Bruise Brothers, Chicago Hammer John Van, and the Staten Island Crippler Guy Cormier. They are the Originals.
You got to admit, they make a great entrance.
The next match will be one fall with a 20-minute time limit, and it's for the RWL Undisputed World Tag Team Championships. The challengers, with Valhalla at ringside, at a combined weight of 597 pounds, Eric and Weber, the Viking Raiders. Their opponents, along with Sylvia Strong, total combined weight of 510 pounds. The RWL Undisputed World Tag Team Champions, John Van and Guy Cormier, the Originals.
You know, the Originals wasn't even scheduled to defend the titles for another couple of weeks, but they said they would not miss this party for the world. Oh man, let alone against brand new, fresh arrivals like these Viking Raiders. Gonna be an interesting matchup for sure. What a way to be welcomed back at Homecoming. Looks like it's going to be Ivar and John Van starting things off. There's the bell. They come centering hard right from Ivar. Goes behind on John Van. Van rounded up over the shoulder of Ivar. Slammed right down to the canvas. Ivar rounds up the Chicago Hammer. The Chicago Hammer with the upper hand flips Ivar to the Originals corner. Sylvia Strong cheering on the boys as usual. And head first into the turnbuckle goes Ivar. The Chicago Hammer gets a hold on him again. Lines him up against the ropes. A hard right. John Van rounds him up, hangs him up over the rope. Takes a little tug with the war. Oh, the Viking Raiders countered. Clothesline from Ivar takes John Van down to the canvas. John Van whipped to the Viking Raiders corner. And there's Valhalla in the corner in her Bullwinkle Moose disguise. John Van and the Tree of Woe kick to the chest from Ivar. There's the second. Ivar driving knees into the midsection of John Van on the wrong side of town. Valhalla hopping up and down. Here's a pinfall. 1, 2. No, not a pinfall. Nope, John Van kicking out of that one.
all the way up on the top turnbuckle, but John Van making his way to the Originals corner. Here comes the Staten Island Crippler, Guy Cormier. Here comes Eric, the big one. Hard right from Cormier, kick to the midsection, rounded up for a sidewalk slam. The Staten Island Crippler opening up business early on Eric. Eric now whipped to the Originals corner. And there's a rake of the forearm right across the face. And there's a second. Down goes Eric into the Originals corner. There's a kick from Guy Cormier. And out goes Eric. Ow. Air-assisted alley-oop right there from the Staten Island Crippler. The Originals, long reigning tag team champions, in control of the Viking Raiders at the present time. Here comes John Van. The Chicago Hammer and Guy Cormier trade off. John Van takes over for the Originals. There's a stomp to Eric. Eric hauled halfway across down by his ankle. The Chicago Hammer goes for the cover and hooks the leg here. 1, 2. He's a big boy. It's going to take a little while. There's a kick to the side of the head. The Chicago Hammer. Well, the Originals always all business every time you see them. Whether they're defending the titles or not. Up he goes. Eric goes for the ride back into the Originals corner again. A hard right from the Chicago Hammer. Down goes Eric. Machine gun kicks from the Chicago Hammer. Eric rolls out towards center. Oh, man. The Chicago Hammer getting a warm reception here at the Rich. And here comes Ivar. Ivar taken down with the clothesline before he could use his own. Eric rounded up by John Van again. Whipped to the outside. Ivar rounds up John Van, rear waistlock. Has him up over the shoulder. John Van counters it. Boom. Nice DDT from the Chicago Hammer. Valhalla, well, at least so far, appears to be behaving herself, but I don't know how long that's going to last. John Van. Eric rolled back in. Guy Cormier. And there's an elbow to the leg of Eric. And then back to business with Ivar, the Chicago Hammer, handling them 2 at a time like he usually does, two-fisted fighting from the Originals. Down goes Ivar into the Originals corner. John Van rounds him up. Takes him right back in there again. Says, stick around a while. Ivar says, no, I don't think I want to do that. Ivar takes John Van to the far right. Oh, man. Rough set of punches takes John Van down to the canvas. Into the corner. Boot to the throat from Ivar. Ivar steps out. Here comes Eric again. John Van back up to a standing position. Whipped back. Almost puts on the brakes, but Eric right there. It says he insists. Want to reciprocate for the visit you had over here. Ivar takes over, but there's a knee to the gut to John Van. There's double knees to the gut. Tell you this much, the Viking Raiders, they appear to be not bush leaguers. Nice vertical suplex from John Van. No, those boys can handle themselves. Here comes Guy Cormier. Again, the undisputed World Tag Team Champions on the line here. Here's a pin. 1. Nope. Guy Cormier and John Van taking a hell of a chance on brand new, fresh arrivals to RWL and the Viking Raiders. Meantime, Guy Cormier in the driver's seat. Ivar whipped to the Originals corner. Guy Cormier rounds him up over the shoulder. Snake eyes right across the turnbuckle again. Cormier rounds him right back up on the rebound. Again, he's going to show him all 4 turnbuckles by the time he's done. Another set of punches. Down goes Ivar. Ivar counters. Finds his way out of the corner. Guy Cormier whipped to the ropes. Kitchen sink knee to the midsection. That's Ivar. Tries to take control. One-arm slam to Guy Cormier. A stomp to the gut. Originals had all the momentum going here, but looks like the Viking Raiders might be trying to turn things around. Cormier whipped into the corner again. Here we go. Here comes Eric. Double team coming up here. What can these fellas do? All the way up, and all nasty double power bomb. Eric takes over. Here's a pin attempt. 1, 2. Only a 2, says Willie Johnson. Got Cormier on the defensive here as Eric takes over. Hard forearm takes him down to the canvas. Tell you what, man, these guys are serious business. Running clothesline takes Guy Cormier down to the canvas. Eric catches an elbow to the face. The Staten Island Crippler goes to work on the head of Eric.
Have you considered what these Viking Raiders might do in a tag team matchup against the Texas Hangmen, the television tag team champions?
Of course I have. Hell, I'm looking forward to it. Myron, make a note of that. John Van takes over for the originals. Vertical suplex on a quick one from the Chicago Hammer. Apparently the massive weight of Eric is not a factor for the always well-trained originals. Undisputed World Tag Team Champions. Regaining momentum here. Here comes the claw right out of the Von Erich playbook. And here comes Ivar to save the day like Mighty Mouse. Oh. John Van wanted to retaliate on him pretty quick, but goes back to work on Eric. Eric hard whipped into the originals corner. Here comes Guy Cormier again. Another double team coming up. Eric, his massive weight up on the... Oh, here we go. Bada bang, bada boom. Double beat down from the Chicago Hammer and Guy Cormier. Cormier takes over. Machine gun kicks after the beatdown in the top turnbuckle. Sylvia Strong looking on like it's party time. Here's a pin. 1, 2, 3, and it is indeed Miller time for the originals who retain the undisputed World Tag Team Championship.
Time of the fall, 8 minutes and 13 seconds. Your winners and still undisputed World Tag Team Champions, the originals.
Just another day at the office, but a very special day at the office for the Chicago Hammer and the Staten Island Cripplers, still undisputed World Tag Team Champions, and the party here at the RCS. I'm sure it's going to be spectacular.
I have no doubt of it. The Viking Raiders putting up a valiant effort for sure, but not enough against the longest reigning tag team champions in RWL ever. You can see it right here. The tandem teamwork of the Chicago Hammer and Staten Island Crippler taking out Eric of the Viking Raiders, and that was gonna do it. It ended with a 3-count pinfall for Guy Cormier. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll return with more RWL Homecoming in just a moment. Stay with us. Fans, that is going to do it for RWL RCS Homecoming. We thank all of you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. A quick programming note as we close. RWL Rage will be Tuesday, March 3rd, and Snarl will be Saturday, March 7th. Be sure to join us then. For all of us here at RWL, I've been Don Hickson saying thanks, good night, and we'll see you next time at ringside. Good night, everybody. Please enjoy this highlight reel.